And it's reported that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered the IDF to compile a list of targets that would allow his country to retaliate against Iran in a way that would not alienate the United States of America.
Well, we're joined now by Jotam Confino from Jewish News UK. Jotam, good morning. What's the latest from where you are?
What I'm hearing is that the war cabinet has agreed that Israel will strike Iran. What they haven't agreed on is which option. Now, the IDF has presented a number of options for the cabinet, and they're currently discussing which one to go with, because, of course, there are the more moderates in Israel's government who would like to do everything they can to prevent alienating Israel's allies in a moment like this. Israel has momentum now for the first time in a long time. All of Israel's allies are 100% behind Israel. And then you have other people, more radicals in Israel's government, who would like to just go crazy, as they say. So they're currently trying to figure out the best middle ground here. And what's more interesting is that Iran has realized that this was not only a military failure, strategically, it was a very stupid move. And Iran isn't a stupid actor. So it's quite surprising, actually, that they are in this situation right now.
Jotam, really good to have you on, as always, my friend. We were sort of spending yesterday, bearing in mind, the precipice on which the world is at the moment. And I think with everything that's going on, we have to be as factual as we can. But you talked then about it was a failure, it was strategic. Presumably what Iran did, and I throw this to you, I'd love your opinion, what Iran did was to placate its own people and also show support to Hamas and the Houthis and also Hezbollah, because they're behind it. It's the Iranian power that we know about and has caused people concerns for many, many years. When Netanyahu bombed the embassy in Damascus and then Iran responds and then Netanyahu can go, there were bombs inside our country. So now all the doubters, all the people saying, should we arm Israel over here, are going, no, we're all together. Are we talking about, literally, are we talking about war tactics, or are we talking about tit for tat, really? Because in the midst of all of this, there are people's lives at stake, right?
True. And we have to remember that a 7-year-old girl, a Bedouin girl, is fighting for her life now after a shrapnel hit her in the head during the missile attack. So, yes, Israel got away with it, but there was still one girl who was injured. That's one thing. Secondly, I do think is that we forget how this actually started. Not that we need to rewind 40 years to look at Israel and Iran's conflict, but Iran mobilized Hezbollah, the Houthi rebels, its militias in Syria and Iraq after Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th. Hezbollah has fired more than 3,000 rockets, more or less on a daily basis, since October 8th. So to say that Israel started this conflict with Iran by bombing the consulate is simply wrong. Iran has admittedly also supported Hamas, Islamic Jihad, of course, Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels. So it's too simple. It's too much of a way to simplify things by saying that, well, Israel started this by bombing the consulate. I don't think that most people in the region see it like that. Even Iran.
I don't think I meant that. What I meant was when it happened for Netanyahu. A week ago on the show, Jotam, we were talking about, we shouldn't be giving arms to Israel. There's a terrible humanitarian situation which we know about in Gaza. What I'm saying is, in a short space of time, presumably Netanyahu could say to the doubters in Israel, we're being bombed by Iran. I'm right. I need to deal with this. I would suspect that strengthened his position, unless I'm missing the point, my friend.
No, absolutely. That you're completely right about. Israel went from being almost a pariah state in the past couple of months because of its handling of Gaza to now being rallied behind. The fact that the US and the UK assisted Israel in shooting down these drones shows that not only do they stand by Israel when push comes to shove, but any thought of limiting arms sales, I think, is so far-fetched. I think it was all speculation. It was politics on the UK's part, because they had to show people who rage on the streets because of Israel that they are definitely considering this restriction of arms sales. Look, they're not going to abandon their only big ally in the Middle East, especially when a country like Iran is really showing who they are and what they're doing. So any talk of arms restrictions, I think we can shelve that.
And Jotam, certainly no one here is suggesting that this started with the bombing of that consulate building in Damascus. However, tactically speaking, bombing that consulate was not an action that was taken towards the path towards peace. unless Israel is arguing that, you know, by taking out those generals, that it would be a more peaceful solution. But how do we reach a situation? How does Israel reach a situation that is peaceful without this continued escalation of fighting between two forces?
First of all, you're right. Many experts in Israel actually believe that it was a mistake to take out the Iranian commander in Damascus. It was unnecessary given the repercussions. Israel is not interested in a full-fledged war with Iran and vice versa. So they could have easily done without it.
Jotam, that's why I was saying badly, my friend, about what I was saying, because it's a very difficult thing when you're talking about people's lives, that it almost, to me, from the outside, not an expert, that happened in Damascus, not quite sure the importance of that in terms of the war effort, but it's done a 360, and now Netanyahu, you can quite justifiably say on the basis of that retaliation, listen, forget the weapons, we're being attacked in our own country.